Thank you for pressing play. Your presence here brings joy to my heart. Welcome to our video on Adrienne W. Hoard. We're thrilled to have you here. Adrienne Walker Hoard, born January 22, 1949, is an African-American woman artist. She is well known for working with color and abstraction in her shaped canvas paintings and being influenced by her travels to different places in the world. She is a retired professor since 2019. As we transition, let's shed light on early life and its relevance to our ongoing exploration. Hoard was born in Jefferson City, Missouri, on January 22, 1949, as the first of three children to parents Charles M. Hoard and Yvonne W. Hoard, who both taught at Lincoln University in Missouri. In 1957, she met her first African-American artist role model, June Price, an art practice teacher at Washington School, the elementary section of the Lincoln University Laboratory School. In 1962, she won her first two art contests for a drawing of an imaginary man fly fishing and a drawing of an imaginary lighthouse, respectively. In 1963, she won her next two art contests with a drawing of an imaginary lighthouse and a pen and ink drawing of an imaginary student thinking about Latin exams and dreaming about gladiators, respectively. She graduated from high school in 1966. As we progress through this video, let's shift our attention towards undergraduate and graduate and uncover its hidden depths. Undergraduate and graduate. Hoard attended Northwestern University as a freshman in 1966 and stayed there up to 1968. She was studying psychology at first but disliked being in science labs. She continued her undergraduate studies and changed her studies to art at Lincoln University MO in 1968, where she would be able to be taught by James Dallas Parks, educator, painter, and co-founder of the National Conference of Artists, Leon Hicks, printmaker, Mary Jo Williams, waiterist and jeweler, and Willie Fahrenheit, longshore photographer. She graduated with a BS degree in art education in 1970. In 1971, she became an Horace H. Rackman School of Graduate Studies teaching associate at the University of Michigan. She studied drawing with Ted Ramsey. At the same time, she would be able to study painting with Maurice Vance and Al Weber, and study Afro-American art with Robert Stull and James Chavers, graduating with a MFA in painting and a minor in museum studies in 1972. Moving ahead, let's uncover the hidden gems within postgraduate and discover their significance. Postgraduate. She took upon further study at the Alumni Museum, University of Michigan, studying museum philosophy and practice with Charles H. Sawyer. She also took on etching at the printmaking workshop in New York. From 1972 to 1973, she was an assistant professor of art at University of Arkansas, Pine Bluff. From 1973 to 1974, she was an instructor of drawing at the New York Phoenix School of Design. In 1973, she gained employment at the Brooklyn Museum. She was the researcher cataloger for the Jenny Simpson Collection of African Art in 1973, the head of adult education and director for their people-to-people programs in 1974, and stayed there until 1975 when she lost city employment as a result of New York City facing financial crisis. Later in 1975, she was able to become an assistant professor art and back studies at Ohio State University. A grant from Ohio State University Graduate School and College of Humanities in 1978 enabled her to travel to South Carolina, Georgia, and the Sea Islands to do research on African decorative arts, specifically looking at seagrass baskets. Later that same year, her achievements as an artist and a teacher were written about in the journal Black Art, and she had a feature in Ebony magazine. The year following, in 1979, Hoard wrote an article on Brenda Lynn Robinson's art for Mahogany magazine. 1980 marks her beginning of her travel to a 2-year visit in Korea. She received a one-year Fulbright Hays Grant Award which allowed her to go to South Korea for assistance in videotape recording and research on Korean art. During her time in Korea, she was a visiting professor at Hongik University under the Department of Western Oil Painting and also a visiting professor at Women's University under the Department of Decorative Arts. In 1981, she was featured in a Korea Times article. With the groundwork laid, let's now examine doctoral program and its connections to our previous discussions. Doctoral program. After her stay in Korea, later in 1981, Hoard returned to the United States and began her doctoral program in art education at University of Illinois. She was also a graduate teaching associate during her time there from 1981 to 1982. In 1982, she became an art teacher at the University of Illinois Laboratory High School and taught there until 1985. She was on the editorial associates team for visual arts research from 1983 to 1986, a journal of visual arts and aesthetic education published twice a year by the University of Illinois Press. She was a visiting associate professor at Northwestern University under the Department of Art Theory and Practice from 1985 to 1986. Hoard earned her doctorate in art education in 1986. Her dissertation examined how people with and without backgrounds in art analyzed visual structure in abstract art, which she related to style discrimination and improving art education curriculum so that people could change the way they thought about art. Now, let's shift our attention to later in 1986 after she earned her Ed.D. Hoard left her previous position and became an associate professor of fine art and art education and also a college coordinator at Louisiana State University through 1988. In this segment, we'll be unraveling the complexities of and exploring its multifaceted nature. Hoard wrote an article for Gifted and Talented Digest in 1988. She also became an associate professor of fine art and art education at the University of Missouri-Columbia that same year. In 1989, she traveled to Brazil and presented and published The Black Aesthetic, an empirical feeling at the Third International Symposium on Art Teaching and its history there. Her work examined the responses and recognition of African American viewers to non-objective art, particularly looking at the responses of African American viewers to African American abstract art. She found that participants were able to recognize cultural aspects in abstract artwork that are a part of what she establishes as a black aesthetic. She also advocated for improving curriculum to be more inclusive of other cultures to increase understanding of non-objective art in the conclusions of the paper. In the summer of 1996, she traveled to South Africa independently to do research with Nebel women artists. The black aesthetic would be used and cited as support and an example for shifting attention from art and object to attention on context, product, and inquiry around the art as well later in 1996 in an article by Elizabeth Manley de la Cruz. In 1997, Hoard reviewed Voices of Color, Art and Society in the Americas and through her review, shared her belief of building solidarity with others over differences and called for people to reflect on how and why they make meaning out of art. She also pushed for teaching children through a comprehensive art education that teaches about themselves and others and for art educators to move in lockstep with art and artists who have decided to take a more direct political path, such as those from the ERS. Hoard was able to continue her research in South Africa in 1998 thanks to a grant through the Missouri University International Center. In 2001, Hoard was able to see her research in South Africa culminate in an article she wrote titled The Commodification of Art, Nebel Women in the Stream of Change. She was interested in the similarities between South African art and art made by African diaspora, particularly abstract art. The article included some of her photography as well. She wrote about the art made by the Nzanza and Nebel people and how their art, such as wall painting, was closely related to personal identity, which had to go through changes and transformation as a result of globalization and market consumption. Through an article written in 2005, Hoard revealed that in her decade-long experience in South Africa, her original purpose of looking at diaspora art changed to a focus on the changes to and impacts on the art and lives of Ndebele people, specifically Ndebele women, due to globalization and technological advancements affecting economic survival. She published further writing and research in the following months. Hoard also wrote a review of the exhibition catalogue for Vive Haiti, Contemporary Art of the Haitian Diaspora that same year. In 2006, she was on a panel for a colloquium honoring Faith Ringgold that was held at Howard University. The panel she spoke on was titled The Black Arts Movement, Pedagogical Perspectives. In 2009, her previous work, The Black Aesthetic, was cited in support of teaching multiculturalism in schools. On July 26, 2013, it was announced that Hoard would become the director of the Black Studies program at the University of Missouri, Kansas City. With the groundwork laid, let's now examine and its connections to our previous discussions. From 2013 to 2019, she was a professor under the Department of Art and Art History as a part of the Black Studies program at the University of Missouri, Kansas City. From 2017 to 2019, she was a consultant lead community advisor at the Nelson Atkins Museum of Art. In 2020, Hoard worked with Vesta A.H. Daniel on an article that focused on the importance of telling Black women's stories as counter-narratives. The article was in the wake of the deaths of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd. Hoard concentrated on what she called artivism, the combination of art and activism aligned with her conception of the Black aesthetic. She says, "As artivist, I understand my art creation and my lived experience as a daily political statement. There are many definitions for this concept of marrying the words artist and activist, emphasizing that art and aesthetics can help communicate energy and feelings." She names some artivists she admires, including Barbara Chase Ribaud, Ninette Carter, Faith Ringgold, Michelle Wallace, Betty Saar, and her daughters Alison Saar and Leslie Saar, and Malika Favorite. She also lists concentric circles, linear bands, stripes, diamonds, and diagonals as visual elements of a Black aesthetic. Now, let's shift our attention to artistic practice and career. Hoard's academic career and her career as an artist were intertwined with each other as they were closely related. She developed both simultaneously. She is primarily a painter who works with oil and acrylics, but has also expanded her practice as a multimedia artist and has worked with oils on paper, oil pastels, mixed media paintings, watercolors, collage, silkscreen paintings, photography, and more. Her stylistic tendencies are natural, free-form flow shape in wet and dry media. She has participated in several exhibitions and galleries throughout her career. As we progress through this video, let's now turn our gaze towards early career. Early in her career in the US, Hoard's artwork was more figurative and minimalist. Hoard painted portraits and made drawings of African Americans, including members of the Black Panthers. After graduating from college with her B.S., she won the first prize in the 1970 Missouri College's art contest with the portrait titled Lady in Waiting. In 1971, in addition to showing in 2 other exhibitions, Hoard also curated a citywide exhibition and mounted another exhibition as part of the design and installation team at the UM Alumni Museum. She also got the chance to travel to several different European countries that year, in which her airplane rides of looking down at the natural shapes made by water and in nature became the inspiration for her shaped canvas paintings. Her graduate thesis show in 1972 was held off campus at Pyramid Gallery, where she was able to show her shaped canvas paintings and the 3-year efforts of creating a personal palette. In 1973, she moved to Harlem to live with family relatives and had a studio set up where she returned to geometric pastel art. She also got the chance to meet with other artists who were also working with shaped canvas paintings like Betty Blayton Taylor, Al Loving, and Ed Clark. Lady-in-Waiting also won another Missouri state contest in 1974. Hoard felt excluded by the monolithic ideas of politics and representation of the black radicalism at the time because it tried to establish its official aesthetics as only consisting of figurative art, and she was experimenting with abstract art. Carol Boyce Davies said that the militant style of many artists and artworks of the late years had a political conscience that collectively destroyed the tradition of the docile, colonized black, replacing it with a fiercely audacious, confrontational black. Nevertheless, many artists of the period, notably Sam Gilliam, Norman Lewis, Mel Edwards, Richard Hunt, and Adrienne Hoard, found the official aesthetics creatively stifling and repudiated it in their work. Her paintings grew in scale and complexity of color in 1974. The following year, in 1975, she would receive a CAPS grant in painting from the New York State Council on the Arts, which allowed her to organize a 4-week public seminar series in her personal loft titled Women in the Arts. She invited the artists Valerie Maynard, Helen Evans Ramsden, Ernestine Robinson, and Inga McCannon to speak as presenter. She also met Al Held and Bud Hopkins that year. Hoard said that her artworks from 1971 to 1975 explored two overlapping themes: unearthing the pursuit of lifescape, a humanistic view of landscape painting allowing the canvas to encompass the rhythmic essence of a place, its timbre of people, sounds, sights, colors, and emotions, and the second theme, an exploration of a key or hieroglyphic symbol defining a unity of passage, which symbolically discusses an inspirational mental movement or transcendence to a higher level of consciousness or awareness by a collective body of persons at the same point in time. This key projects a way in which multitudes can pass through the power of like consciousness. After giving these two lines over into my own contained shape, I utilized this shape to open various levels and distances in space with color. In 1976, Lois Jones Pye Noel mentioned her alongside artists Rose Auld and Wendy Wilson as younger black women artists to watch. From Hoard worked on a citywide mural project with her students from her class in the Department of Black Studies at Ohio State University, which was written about in a New York Times article published in June 1977, where Hoard is quoted saying that art history courses at that time did not even mention Henry Tanner. In this section, we'll be deep diving into Studio Museum in Harlem Exhibition 1977, unraveling its complexities and uncovering valuable insights. Studio Museum in Harlem Exhibition 1977. In 1977, Hoard had a one-woman exhibition at the Studio Museum in Harlem where she showed her prints, paintings, both traditional rectangular paintings and shaped canvas paintings, and drawings. David Celsius, Driscoll, Lois Malo Jones, and Mel Edwards contributed to the catalogue. In the press release, Hoard is quoted saying, "The intrigue of manipulating pure form has extended from the inner planes to the outer perimeters of the painting. I am allowing the color to create the movement and the shapes aid in the direction. Each composition captures a moment in time-space when certain rhythms can be viewed as color assemblages before traveling on in time, taking on still other configurations." Exhibits brochure. In the exhibits brochure, Driscoll wrote in the foreword that besides a search for peace, her paintings are also able to deliver the joy of living immediately in the experience of beautiful art forms. Driscoll praises the silence of Hoard's paintings and also said that Egypt, North Africa, and Central and North American architecture and decorative art can be seen in her artworks. Lois Jones Pye Noel, who had written about her before, also contributed writing to the brochure, acknowledging her sensitivity in responding to nature and recognizing that her approach to shaped canvas paintings is also similar to the way she approaches prints and collages. She is praised with he excels in her portrayals of birds, beasts and fish, which reveal her deep mysteries and dreams which encompass them, and soar to great heights of abstract expression which captivate the eye through glowing and moving shapes. Mel Edwards observed that in Hoard's art there is a preference for variations of orange and blue with red, magenta and green. Edwards also said that marine life and other life forms serve as reference for Hoard. June Kelly in 1978 wrote that Hoard's deep-felt need to depict the universal human desire to glorify life and the recognition of something greater than mankind is ever present, the reaching, striving, the tranquility that comes with knowing oneself. With the foundation laid, let's embark on a journey into Urs and Urs. In 1980, before she traveled to Korea, Hoard studied television set design and promotional graphics with Keith Knorr. While in Korea, in addition to being a visiting professor at other universities, she was also a visiting artist at Korean Educational Development Institute in Seoul. During her time studying in Seoul, she was influenced by Eastern philosophy. Her painting became more textural and expressionistic in color as a result, a change from flat monochromatic areas and analogous colors. Her time in Korea allowed her to explore ideas that were not about superiority or inferiority in relation to race. She used birds to symbolize freedom in the paintings she made in Korea. About her work from 1975 and onward through 1980, Hoard said that my concept and perception of form has completely opened and become involved with natural, free-form float shape in wet and dry media. Each composition, whether collage or silkscreen or shaped canvas painting, captures a moment in time-space when certain rhythms can be viewed as tonal color assemblages, before traveling on in time to take on still other configurations and messages. In these tonal-shaped explorations, I am allowing the color to create the movement and the shapes to lend direction and dimension. The series have included works of art thematically concerned with original animals from the sea and air, and evidence of natural phenomena with color. In 1980, the exhibition Catalogue for Further Free Art by African American Women was published and included Hoard as one of its artists. From 1985 to 1986, Hoard was able to develop a breakthrough in her art and her view as an artist due to a Ford Foundation grant she received in 1985. In 1987, she was named as an artist in lineage with Laura Wheeler Waring alongside artists Clementine Hunter, Barnett Honeywood, and Anne Tanksley. In 1988, she won a juried contract with Centaur Records and was able to place paintings on cover booklets for 7 compact disc recordings of synchronic computer music. Her father passed away in 1989 and her mother also passed away the next year in 1990. The deaths in her family informed her Cosmic Movements series, where she wanted to find peace after tragedy and worked more on paper rather than shaped canvas. Her paintings in this had an intimate and painterly style, and were more physical and gestural, while in this her paintings came to be soft, rounded, organic, natural shapes, and have smoother transitions and passages between color and forms. In 1990, Hoard was also written about in Samela South Lewis' book African American Art and Artists, listed in the Symbolism, Geometric, Organic, Figurative section of the book. Lewis wrote on how abstraction allowed Hoard more freedom in expression and that boundaries served as exploration for her. Lewis also observed Hoard's themes of nature in her artwork as respect and appreciation of nature. Hoard is quoted saying internally, "The change has occurred. I am into nuances, tiny color changes, softness and motion and free form. Now I am able to make my thoughts and my expressions match. And I love it." Lewis also noted that for Hoard, her roles as artist and educator informed and influenced each other. As an educator, Hoard said that art teachers are the bottom line. If they don't teach people that there is an aesthetic wealth in the community and that they should go and take advantage of the opportunities offered, a disservice is being done. The quality of life and culture is diminished. Hoard's oil pastel and watercolor artwork Le Phoenix is also reproduced in the book. In 1991, she was reviewed in the Street Louis Post-Dispatch and quoted in an Art News magazine article. In 1993, she was given a paid grant for leave and was able to create shaped canvas paintings in Italy inspired by Etruscan culture for a year. In 1995, she was included in WikipediaReader Anthology of Contemporary African American Women Artists. It is written that concept, perception, and representation are most important for Hoard. She wants to express concepts like the kaiban, the internal meditative nature of every person, lifescape, the rhythmic sights and colors that evoke a higher consciousness or awareness by a collective person at the same point in time, and unity of passage. Natural phenomena, the metaphysical nature of the universe, existence of other dimensions and greater orders also serve as inspiration for Hoard. It is also observed that the progression of materials correlated to the complexity of media and subject matter in Hoard's work. In 1997, her Cosmic Movements Mercury artwork was published in a French book, La Femme Noire Américaine, Aspects d'une crise identite by Emils. She was also included in the Street James Guide to Black Artists this same year, recognized for her outsider status in both mainstream art and the African American community because of her commitment to abstract art instead of figurative or representative art, which was more accepted. The next year, in 1998, Hoard had a 22-year retrospective exhibition and self-published a catalogue for it, including photo reproductions of some of her shaped canvas paintings and writing accompanying them. In the catalogue, it is reiterated that Hoard focuses on the relationship of colors in her paintings and uses shaped canvas to question and play with perspective, the effect on the viewer, and its function of it in the painting itself. Abstraction and color is what Hoard uses to examine the world. Included in her February artist statement, she said, "Abstraction allows me the freedom of total emotional expression, but keeps my secrets. Only the colors, authentic and bold, give any indication of the depth of my feelings, the intensity of my truth, or the joy in my passion." She also explained that she achieved the forms of her shaped canvas paintings by manipulating the canvas perimeter shape. The time has come to unravel the secrets behind Ursa present and gain a deeper understanding. Hoard would continue to show in a small number of exhibitions in the 21st century. However, in 2020, when she collaborated with Vesta A.H. Daniel on the article Black Women's Counter-Narratives, Art and Activism in a 21st Century American Struggle, she specifically questioned will my own art live on large, white-painted museum walls? Which was meant to address the lack of inclusion and racism that happens regularly in the US, but perhaps suggests unsatisfaction with how her career has developed. In 2021, her painting Etruscan I from her Etruscan Voyage series was used for the cover of Black Native Autobiographical Acts, Navigating the Minefields of Authenticity, written by Sarita Cannon. In March 2023, she had a solo exhibition, LOVE is a Body in Motion, held by the Kansas City Artists Coalition, which featured paintings that were more figurative and representational than her shaped canvas paintings, but still had a strong focus on colors, movement, and rhythm. Without wasting any more time, let's jump into the fascinating world of work. Hoard said that her painting Night Oasis, painted in 1974, specifically is an example of her exploring the theme of lifescape, and that another 1974 painting, Aurora, specifically explores the theme of unity of passage. In WikipediaReader, her painting Roaring Pansy 1987 is listed as an example of lifescape, and her painting Love Dance 1985 is listed as an example of unity of passage. Her painting Pandora's Box 1987 is used as an example of a painting of her newly developed style that resulted from her studying in Korea with its frenzy colors and unconventional form. Fire Dove 1990 explores the concept of duality with its reds and blues. On her Tribal Birds series, Hoard said it explores cultural, ritual, natural beings in flight and the felt shapes evident throughout time life, as one transverses from one moment of reality to the next. Dana Self, curator of Kemper Museum of Contemporary Art at the time of Hoard's 22-year retrospective in 1998, said that Hoard's Etruscan duet was specifically painted while she was in Italy studying Etruscan tomb culture and cosmology. The Gate Mothers series from 1998 was originally inspired by Hoard watching priestess dance while she was in Brazil, her time spent with Nebel women, and seeing the women she spent time with visiting altars. Tradition ended up consisting of the visual, abstract, representational, spiritual, and being a woman for her. Hoard explained that these paintings from this series are a tribute to the Gate Mothers, who are a parallel to Orisha. She was interested in how African ancestry showed up in different creation stories. Hoard admired the spirits of the women she has worked with, connecting their spirits to the Gate Mothers. Hoard's The Women of Power Spirit Mask series, her first series of painted photographs, 12 photographs printed on archival inkjet paper painted over with oil or acrylic. This sets the series apart from her shaped canvas paintings. Hoard uses the concept of masking as protection and also as dressing up to express oneself. In this series, Hoard continues to think about her travels around the world. Hoard's initial inspiration came from Gordon Parks' photograph American Gothic, Washington, District of Columbia. She asked a custodian in her art building to pose for her in a similar manner. In doing so, Hoard made the central subject matter about black women. She directly talks about womanhood as a theme in the series, prompting viewers to create their own model of a powerful woman. LOVE as a Body in Motion is a series of 15 painted photographs that are based on original photographs Hoard took at an annual spring dance troupe at Lincoln University MO. She explained that painting over the photographs was not her initial intention. She wanted to capture a moment in time and have the viewer to be able to connect with that moment. As we progress through this video, let's shift our attention towards list of known works and uncover its hidden depths. Africa at the Equator, Trip I, acrylic on shaped canvas, 50x60x12, 1970 Aurora, acrylic on canvas, 40x30 inches, 1974 Sunship, acrylic on canvas, X, 1975 Natural World Series, Octomag I, acrylic on canvas, 86x45, 1976 Natural World Series, Love Portrait, acrylic on canvas, 87x45, 1977 Solar Gift from the Sun, shaped canvas, 96x48, 1977 Lute Song, acrylic on shaped canvas, 87x57, 1977 Love Portrait, acrylic on shaped canvas, 86x48, 1976 Women of the Owl Nail, acrylic on shaped canvas, 36x48, 1980 Korean Impressions Series, Peaceful Peninsula, gouache on mulberry paper, 18x28, 1981 The Phoenix, oil pastel watercolor, 28x34, 1988. Now, let's dig deeper into Tribal Birds series and unveil the hidden treasures it holds within. Feathered Intruder, acrylic on shaped canvas, 41x48, 1987 Pecking Order, 41x39, oil on shaped canvas, 1990 Winged Starfighter, oil pastel, gouache, ink on rives, 34x28, 1985 Grey Wing, oil pastel, gouache, acrylic on rives, 34x28, 1985 Wind Tradewind, oil pastel, gouache, acrylic on rives, 34x28, 1985 Fire Dove, oil pastel, gouache, acrylic, ink on rives, 34x28, 1986 Passion's Dream Flower, oil pastel, gouache, acrylic on rives, 34x28, 1985 Passion's Dream Flower, color lithograph, 18x24 framed, 1988. Brace yourselves for the next chapter, where we'll be dissecting Cosmic Movements series. Com Center, oil on stitches, 36x26, 1989 Blood Moon, acrylic on stitches, 37x27, 1991 Jupiter, acrylic on stitches, 37x27, 1991 Meteor Shower, acrylic on stitches, 37x27, 1991 Pluto Foreman, acrylic on stitches, 1991. Prepare yourself for an eye-opening discussion on Etruscan Voyage series in the upcoming portion of this video. KNOI, acrylic on canvas paper, 32x42, 1993. KNO Sun, acrylic on canvas paper, 31x41, 1993. Blues, acrylic on canvas paper, 31x41, 1993. Fall Forward, acrylic on canvas paper, 31x41, 1993. Green Dancer Dams Torverdi, 26x36, oil on shaped canvas, 1994. Etruscan Eye, oil on shaped canvas, 48x48, 1994. Etruscan 2, oil on shaped canvas, 48x48, 1994. Etruscan Duet Duto Etrushi, oil on shaped canvas panels, 90x48, 1994. Reclining Violet Eye, oil on canvas paper, 21x24, 1994. Reclining Violet 2, oil on canvas paper, 21x24, 1994. Reclining Violet 3, oil on canvas paper, 21x24, 1994. In the next segment, we'll be exploring Brazil series and its implications for our subject matter. Bahia 4, Birdwoman, oil on Schiz, 34x28, 1996. In the upcoming section, we'll be dissecting Gate Mothers series and exploring its intricate connections to our topic. Dance Weavers, and Colored Etching, 16x20, 1998. 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 Dance of Innocence, oil on shaped canvas panels, 67x36, 1998. With the foundation laid, let's embark on a journey into Painted Poses series. Double Dutch, 2020 Molicious, 2020 Royal Dance, 2020 Sweet Strut, 2020 Twin Flame, 2020. Source. Let's now turn our gaze towards LOVE as a body in motion and explore the fascinating connections it has to offer. Fire Dance, 16x19, 2020 Flame Duet, 16x19, 2020 The Visitation, 16x19, 2020 Threesome, 16x19, 2022 The Guardian, 16x19, 2022 Embraced, 16x19, 2022 Ancestral Sawyer, 16x19, 2022 Forehand Play, 16x19, 2023 The Chase, 16x19, 2023. Source. In the next portion, we'll be immersing ourselves in the realm of awards and honors and examining its broader implications. Who's Who in American Art, 1978 International Who's Who of Women, 1978 International Who's Who in Community Service, 1976 Outstanding Young Women in America, 1976 Grant, New York State Council on the Arts, Who's Who Among Students in American Colleges and Universities, 1970 10th Julia Margaret Cameron International Award for Women Photographers, finalist in Portrait category, 2016 12th Julia Margaret Cameron International Award for Women Photographers, finalist in Daily Life and Culture category, 2018 13th Julia Margaret Cameron International Award for Women Photographers, honorable mention in 4 categories, 2019 14th Julia Margaret Cameron International Award for Women Photographers, honorable mention in Culture category 2020. Let's now venture into the realm of exhibitions and explore the fascinating intricacies it holds. Arms Gallery, Hardage 75, Soho, New York City Group Exhibition, 1975. Art Force Gallery, Columbus, Ohio 1, Woman Exhibit, Lecture, and Workshop, 1976. The Studio Museum in Harlem, New York City 1, Woman Exhibit and Lecture, 1977. Black Artists Together, Invitational Exhibition, Columbus, Ohio, 1978 Ohio State University, Newark Campus 1 Woman Exhibit and Lecture, 1979 G. Warner Gallery, Atlanta, Group Exhibition, April 16 May 7, 1980 Shilton Gallery, New York City 1 Woman Exhibition, April 3 May 10, 1980 International Communication Agency Exhibition Hall, American Embassy, Korean Impressions, Painting and Photography, Seoul 1 Woman Exhibition, April 1981 Illinois State University Gallery, Joslin Art Museum, Omaha, N.E. Montgomery Museum of Fine Art, A.L. Gibbs Art Gallery, Charleston, S.C. University of Maryland College Park Art Gallery, Indianapolis Museum of Art, I.N. Forever Free Art by African American Women, Traveling Group Exhibition, January 30, 1981, February 15, 1982 The Schomburg Center for Research in Black Culture Art Collection, New York City Group Exhibition, February 19, March 11, 1982 Ralston Purina Corporate Headquarters Gallery, Street Lewis M.O. Featured Artist of Group Exhibition, October 1983 Nexus Galleries, Atlanta Group Exhibition, August 1984 The Woman's Bank, New York City, St. Gallery Group Exhibition, April 4 May 11, 1985 Evanston Art Center IL, Roots, a Contemporary Inspiration Group Exhibition of African American Artists, February 14 March 30, 1986 Louisiana State University Union Gallery, Faculty Exhibitions, Southern University John B. Cade Gallery 2-person exhibition, Adrienne Hoard, October 1987 Dillard University Wall Alexander Gallery 2-person exhibition, Adrienne Hoard, February 1988 New Orleans General Hospital 1 Woman Exhibition, February 1988 University of Missouri George Caleb Bingham Gallery, Faculty Exhibitions, Manhattan East Gallery of Fine Art New York City, Women in Color International Group Exhibition, March 16, April 16, 1989 Fontbern College Gallery Street Lewis, Cosmic Movements 1 Woman Exhibition, December 1991 Portfolio Gallery Street Lewis, Visions 1992 Group Exhibition, February 10 March 20, 1992 Columbus Museum of Art Ohio, People, Places and Things, An African American Perspective, September 5, 1992 February 28, 1993 Cattell Park Palace Florence, Italy, Etruscan Voyage, 1 Woman Exhibition, April 1994 George Caleb Bingham Gallery University of Missouri, Etruscan Voyage Faculty Leave Exhibition, August 28 September 9, 1994 Missouri University Ellis Library Galleries, Not Your Typical Tuscan, An African American Perspective on Italy, 1 Woman Exhibition, February 1996 Museum of Science and Industry, Chicago, Black Creativity, January 26 February 28, 1996 Lincoln University Memorial Hall Gallery M.O. Soweto to Salvador, Paintings and Photography 1 Woman Exhibition, October 13 November 22, 1996 Margaret Harwell Art Museum M.O. African Odyssey 2-person exhibition, February 8 March 2, 1997 Bruce R. Watkins Cultural Center Gallery Kansas City, 2 decades of float shapes, a 22-year retrospective of shaped canvas paintings 1 Woman Exhibition, March 8 April 4, 1998 Georgetown University, the Atrium Gallery at the Lombardi Center, Washington, D.C., 2 decades of float shapes, a 22-year retrospective of shaped canvas paintings 1 Woman Exhibition, April 30 May 29, 1998 National Museum of the American Indian, Smithsonian Institution, Washington, D.C. Indivisible, African Native American, Lives in the Americas, George Caleb Bingham Gallery, University of Missouri, Columbia, M.O., 50 Years of Civil Rights, The Movement in Expressive Images 2-person show, January-February 2014 4th Berlin Biennale of Fine Art and Documentary Photography, Unter den Linden, Berlin, Germany 2016 Dean's Gallery, Miller Nichols Library, University of Missouri, Kansas City, inside the R12 of Adrienne Walker Hoard, January-May 2017. 5th Photo Biennale of Fine Art and Documentary Photography, Space No Bostic, Barcelona, Spain, 2018. 6th Photo Biennale of Fine Art and Documentary Photography, Space No Bostic, Barcelona, Spain, 2019. Worldwide Photography Gala Awards, Fotonostrum Gallery, Barcelona, Spain, 2020. The Box Gallery, Kansas City, Painted Poses, September 4, 2020, October 30, 2020. Kansas City Artists Coalition, LOVE is a Body in Motion, March 2023. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel.